This past weekend, I participated in a content creator showcase with some of the best content creators and players in the Pokemon TCG space right now. And me, well, I think I'm just gonna let these dumb math rocks decide my fate. This great adventure started, as all great adventures do, with a doom scroll on x.com, and I see this post from the Bolt Up. Now, I recognize the Bolt Up from Twitch chat, so I know it's a legit opportunity. Immediately, I texted to my Shiny Showdown partner in crime, Goodra for the win, and said, wouldn't it be hilarious if we both did this? So both of us applied. Now, as I'm filling out this application, there's a section that says additional comments. Now, I could have been normal and said, thank you for the opportunity, but instead I decided to write, this is going to be my spiciest and diciest deck to date, as I will be rolling dice to determine the cards in my deck, like I do in my spicy and dicey series on TikTok. Because, let's just be real, I lack self-preservation skills. A couple days later, I get the message that I am going to be one of the people that are in this tournament, and about an hour later, Goodra for the win texts me he will be in this tournament as well. And I think it was after I got the text from Goodra for the win when it really hit me that I'm actually going to have to do this. So if you're unfamiliar with my spicy and dicey series on TikTok, what I do is I start by spinning a wheel to determine what type attacker I'm going to be using, and then I roll a d20 to figure out exactly which attacker that's going to be. After that, I roll a d10 to figure out how many additional Pokemon typings I will have to utilize in the deck, and then I roll a d8 to determine a special trainer rule. So I spun the wheel. Ah! I'm so nervous. And I rolled my dice. I'm so nervous. What is it? And with each dice roll, that's a 5. So that means in this deck, I have to use 6 different typings. My deck became just a twinge more cursed. Oh my god. Each trainer card must be from a different set. Eventually, I landed on a Chien-Pao Greninja EX hybrid because it has plenty of type coverage. It had a pretty consistent support line despite the fact that my trainers were going to be quite inconsistent. So I took to Twitch and I started piecing this together. There were some really, really good moments. Is this the optimal play here? Retreat into Regigigas and attack for 330? Is this the play? Is that what I'm supposed to do? And there were some not so great moments. Oh, we don't have Pheasantipity. We're gonna end this game here. We're ending this game here. Yeah, this is not, that was not good. But slowly something actually started working. I started making tweaks, I learned how to pilot the deck, and I learned where my spicy combos were, and maybe, just maybe, this deck was going to actually be playable. Here's a full deck list picture for you guys. While you're at it, make sure to like and subscribe for plenty of Pokemon content. Appreciate you. Now let's get into some gameplay. It's tournament day, and I have no idea what experience I'm in for. And I see my first round pairing against Celio's network. So I was very, very nervous. He was playing Dragapult EX, and I was kind of prepared for this matchup. In fact, I was really, really proud of myself because I was able to pull off a Regigigas Baxcalibur combo that kind of came to fruition in the planning process of this deck. But I think Celio said it best himself.
That was utterly absurd.
Absolutely absurd. I didn't quite take this one, but having one prize card remaining and being able to hold my own with this kind of scrappy deck against one of the top meta decks made me feel a lot better about the choice that I had made going into this tournament. Round 2, and I'm paired against Zach Lesage from the Shuffle Squad. I know that Zach Lesage has done super, super well in regionals, so I wasn't sure what to expect. And he's playing a Tatsugiri EX build with Hydreigon and Blaziken and all kinds of fun Pokemon nonsense. You see, the thing with Tatsugiri EX, though, is that Tatsugiri is the only basic that's played in that deck. If you can't pull off the Cinnabar Lure by turn 2 or get a second Tatsugiri on your bench, the game's essentially over if your opponent can get their setup. And that's exactly what happened here. This game finished in less than 5 minutes, and honestly, I kind of feel bad for donking him, but I did get all of my stuff set up with Chien-Pao really, really quickly. I just kind of feel bad it ended in a donk. So my third match was against Austin Charles, another really, really primo player, and he was playing Goldengo, which couldn't have been worse for me because Chien-Pao is weak to Goldengo, meaning that Goldengo only needs about half the energy count to knock out Chien-Pao, and that's going to make this a really, really difficult matchup. Upon reflecting on this game a little bit more, I can identify the decisions that I made that kind of led me into not being able to take the victory here. Unfortunately, the last superior energy retrieval that I needed for this game was prized, and that kind of just put me in a fairly precarious situation, set me up for a loss. Round 4, I go up against Snipe the Bench. Let me just say this was a disaster. I was very limited in what I could play with my trainer card, and when he whipped out Neutralization Zone, the game was over. I didn't have any way to kind of counter that, so I just kind of kept throwing cards up, hoping that maybe I could trip him up. I was not equipped or prepared for a control list. Definitely an interesting learning experience from that one. My 5th and final game, because your girl wasn't top cutting at this point, was against your Korean dad, Nick Cho. It was against Toedscruel EX. Now, once again, we had another kind of matchup where a control aspect that I just did not have the trainer cards to counter was going to cost me the game. Baby Toedscruel has an ability that if it's on your bench, then it prevents your opponent from being able to take cards out of the discard pile, which makes my strategy a little difficult considering I'm discarding as many energies as possible to take large knockouts and then using superior energy retrieval without boss's orders. I can't just like bring Tentacruel up into the active. I have Lisia's appeal, but that only applies to basic Pokemon. Due to this, I lost all my energy. There was nothing I could do, so I ended up losing this game as well. So there was one last thing they had left to award, and that was the most creative deck trophy. And this was an award that's voted on by the other content creators in the tournament. And I was hoping that maybe like my approach towards building this deck would hopefully earn me at least one vote for this award. I didn't get any votes. When it was all tallied up, the winner of the most creative deck was my Shiny Showdown collaborator, Goodra, for the win. And honestly, I'm just so excited and proud of him. He brought something super unconventional, a poison Flygon, and I think that it really shows his creativity. This tournament reminded me that being a content creator for the Pokemon TCG, it's about just showing up and being authentically yourself. You know, I didn't do too hot in the tournament, but I am incredibly proud of myself for sticking it out, trying my best, and learning from the experience. I hope that maybe the lessons that I learned you can take away with you. Thank you so much to the Bolt Up for putting it all together. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more Pokemon TCG in action. Stay safe, stay positive, stay healthy, and blame the dice if your deck's bad.